and I was in Arizona shooting a film, and I got a call from my agent saying, hey, there's this movie, Major League, you know, they'd really like you in it. We told them you play baseball. David Ward, it was important to him, the director. Anyway, I took the role, promised David I could play baseball. He had done his tryouts. And this first couple scenes, actually, if you look at the spring training scenes, even when there's that Dennis Haysbert is saying hats for bats with his voodoo thing, you know, in the clubhouse there, my hair is so long at that point, it's so tucked up in a way. I had these secret ambitions to be a professional baseball player. You know, it's always my question and my answer to, what would you have done if you couldn't act? You know, well, if I had the skill, I'd have been a baseball player. I just like the lifestyle. I like the camaraderie. I actually like the tempo of the game. I remember at times thinking like, Tom gets to play the lead guy, get the girl and all that, and that's cool. Charlie's going to get to be the guy who gets to make up for his problems in life. But Dorn he's just like a fucking punching bag, man.
I don't have to do any calisthenics. I don't feel unnecessary. So what do you think about that?
He's just, you know, laughed at. I got to take the laughs. I got to be humiliated. I got to do all that, which was really hard because I could play baseball. I had a guy on a radio show once challenge me, not radio show. He had a radio show, but I read an article. He said top baseball movies in Major League is in the top 10 or something. And everybody could really play baseball except for Corbin Bernsen. I said, what? You were there, man. And I called him up and said, you understand I'm supposed to look like a prima donna. You understand when I do all my stuff, I'm supposed to do that. That's in the script. That's not me. He goes, yeah, man, I don't know. I said, I'll tell you what, dude. Meet me out there in Philly. We'll stand on the warning track behind second base. I will throw a bullet to second. Let's see how close you get. The guy never did. He took me up on it, but never followed through. It's all talk, you know.
I only got one thing to say to you. Strike this motherfucker out.
You know, I call David Ward often because if I sign a baseball or something, they want that on there. Look, Vaughn, I only got one thing to say to you. Strike this motherfucker out, you know. And I shortened it to strike this motherfucker out. Fathers come up with their 4-year-old kids and, could you put this to Ricky? Strike this motherfucker out. And I'm going like, all right, man, your drama, not mine.
And every newspaper in the country has picked us to finish last. The local press seems to think we'd save everyone a lot of time and trouble if we just went out and shot ourselves.
You know it's a big line, right? You can feel it. Yeah, this script, I think you were talking about the stories. It was so tight and so together. And so you got to do this sort of really intimate line, you know, to a guy who's just banged your wife. I got one thing to say to you, Vaughn. Strike this motherfucker out. And you've got 25,000 people and you're doing it in a stadium. It's not like we're on a sound stage within feet of each other. It's kind of hard to get intense in a gigantic stadium, especially if you're not meant to yell. If you're yelling to a guy on first, what the fuck are you doing, you know? But no, you go to the mound, you walk up like that moment is, and you're in this like Death Valley, man. You're in not Death Valley, you're in the Grand Canyon going, I got one thing to say to you, Vaughn. Strike this motherfucker out. You know, and it's weird. It's weird being intimate in the Grand Canyon. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Well, it's over the years, it's diminished a little bit because, you know, that's 35 years ago. I mean, there's a whole generation there that's like saying, you know, the Wizard of Oz or something, you know, it's like a long time ago. But I get a great reception there. People always, they appreciate it. And Same thing. And again, I hate to go back, but Milwaukee's the same thing. But definitely get a really great reception there. And man, like a few years after, for like 10 years, I went and did a first pitch at the Indians games and signed autographs. And the players, all the players at that point, all knew the movie, knew every line. These new players, I mean, these guys are 22 and 23. They weren't born yet. It's like, oh yeah, that old movie about this team I played for. My overall thoughts are, I'm 65 now. It's really nice to know that in your sort of, resume of films or things that you've done, you have one, it's nice. I have this super diverse career that's major movies, soap opera, anything you want to do. I love the fact that in film, I was in a film that is probably for a long time now going to be sort of an iconic baseball movie, an iconic comedy, if you will. It's got a lot of funny lines that people remember, the sentiment about teamwork, all that stuff. So it's great that I got to be in a film. Look, is it Gone with the Wind or something? I don't know, but it's cool to be in a movie that is going to be remembered and will be in a top 10 list for. It's great to know that you've been a part of something that meant something, and even if it is a silly comedy about teamwork, and it's nice when you go out and people say, "Hey man, Roger Dorn, none of this old A bullshit," and I go, "That's not my line, but okay."
Come on, Dorn, get in front of the damn ball. Don't give me this Olay bullshit.
Look, I took one of those in the eye last year. I'm not about to lose my sight.
I'm deeply moved. Every time you play one off your hips, you owe me 40 sit-ups.
What?
Like the sound of this video? All of our music was licensed from Soundstripe, a subscription-based royalty-free music library for filmmakers, podcasters, YouTubers, and more. Soundstripe. Keep creating.